Uh, so let us begin. I'm going to share my screen with you all. Okay. Before I begin, I wanted to ask you about the exam. How was it? Was it good? How did it go? How did your exam go? I wanted to
मैम बहुत
ask.
अच्छा हो गया.
Go
It
ahead.
went pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
एक क्वेश्चन था बस मैंने पूछना था. मैं बस रिव्यू ओपन कर लूं तब तक anyone can ask
Sure,
you question.
sure. Thank you. I wanted to tell you that please allow me 2 weeks to assess your exam. I will take at least 2 weeks. Okay? Inshallah, you will be hearing from me within 2 weeks. And another thing is that I noticed last time some of you were complaining about the time limit. I gave you, well, the class time is actually 50 minutes. I went beyond that and I gave you an hour. Let me tell you that the college administration's policy is that teachers confine their classes or activities to the class timings only. Let's say if I give you a time limit of 2 hours, but what if another student has another class beginning at 11? I do not want to take up time from students' other classes. A teacher, for his or her course activities, they have to confine themselves within the allocated time slot. And for that, I gave you multiple choice questions. I knew that if I gave you all essay type questions, you may have time limitation. For that, I gave you multiple choice questions, and for essay type questions, I also gave you the word limit. The word limit was just 300 words, which hardly makes a paragraph, and you could do it. I believe you could do it in just 20 or 25 minutes. Besides this, of course, if you are very well prepared, if you know the answers, if you have concept clarity and understanding, I think time shouldn't be an issue for you. University administration is also encouraging faculty to find ways whereby they can minimize cheating, because it is very important. You see, we cannot, in online teaching, we have to find ways that are different from traditional ways of assessments, and in that I have to find ways how I can actually minimize cheating. And I mean, you may have noticed, especially for multiple choice questions, they were primarily aimed at assessing your concept clarity. So even if you waste your time scrolling down your pages and looking through notes, exploring PowerPoint slides, potentially you cannot get the answer in a really short period of time, until and unless you have read and understood everything beforehand. However, whatever is the case, we being teachers are fully aware of limitations associated with online teaching. However, I must say that being instructor of your course, your instructor for this course, I am doing my best. I am doing whatever I can to make the course accessible to you all, to do your assessment in the most possible fair ways. And university administration also encourages faculty to go for oral exams. Again, that is a kind of exam that minimizes cheating. However, this is not in my plan so far. Let's see how things unfold in future, and then if there are any changes. So far I haven't made any changes in my syllabus or anything, but if there are, I will let you know, of course, well before time. Let's get started then. Is there anything, Hadi, you want to ask, or can I begin?
जी मैम ये क्वेश्चन है बस ये देख लें if I can show it to you or I'll read it to you. ये क्वेश्चन 20 था. All communication models are supposed to have the components of sender receiver barrier channel message. So मैंने always किया था उसका आंसर नहीं बता, तो ये थोड़ा सा गाइड समझा दें.
Thank you for answering. Thank you for asking this question, Hadi. I think it's really great and it will help others understanding as well. Acha, the answer was never. Now let me explain this with the example of Dance helical model. Remember Frank Dance helical model? If you recall that model, did it have sender, message, receiver, and all those elements? It did not. So all models are unique. They address unique sort of elements, and they are unique to specific situations. It's not necessary for all models to have all of the components that I described, that I mentioned in the question. So like I said, models are unique, and they are unique to specific situations. A specific model will deal with a specific situation. Not all models have all the components to deal with every kind of situation. Does this answer your question, Hadi? Does
Yes,
this
ma'am. Thank you.
okay, great. All right, let's begin. I am sharing my screen with you. You can all see that the model that we are going to discuss is stimulus response model. We will discuss half of this model today, and then the rest of the half in our next class, inshallah. Acha, from today, we are going to begin our discussion, our debate related to effects of mass communication. What are effects of mass communication? Effects are that, for example, media persuades us, motivates us to change our choices, to change our behavior, to change our desires, or it affects us towards certain ways, let's say. That are effects. So I can explain it with the help of an example from advertisement. Let's say if I see an advertisement, and after seeing that advertisement, I change my desire, I change my behavior. Let's see, you may have seen advertisements that come in the form of pamphlets, that sometimes advertisers slide through your door, through your house main entrance. It happens to me many times. I go home and I step into my house, and I see an advertisement of a pizza service, or let's say any a fast food burger, or shawarma, or anything. And they also tell me that considering COVID situation, we can give you a free delivery, we can deliver the food at your doorstep. And it happened to me last weekend that I entered my house and I saw a pamphlet that was dropped by someone under my main gate. And I looked at the pamphlet, and it sounded very interesting, and they had great deals. And I thought, okay, let's try this coming weekend. See, this is the effect that a media message has created on me. So I'm saying here is that effects of mass communication are very important to study for scholars. To study effects of mass communication is one of the dominant fields within mass communication, and that is why, for this reason, a number of mass comm models that we see, they are related to the study of effects. Okay? I also wanted to request something. Next time, please do not come. I mean, you shouldn't be late for more than 10 minutes. It is very distracting for me. People keep coming to the class, and I keep allowing them to admit. And I think I'll ask Maida as well to circulate the message in the group. Take hai bete, Maida?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, please turn on your cameras. Maida sends me attendance at the end of every class, and attendance clearly shows whoever has his camera on or camera off. Please do not turn your cameras off. Keep your cameras on. I would like to see you all in my class attentive and vigilant. And if you have, the attendance that Maida sends me at the end of every class, it clearly shows me the status of each student. So please be very careful about that. All right, this is my first slide related to the stimulus response model. Stimulus response model is one of the models related to effects of communication, and this is the model that we are going to discuss today. This is the same thing that I was just saying. I said that the study of effects has a dominant place in research and scholarly activities of mass communication. I gave you an example of a pamphlet, an advertisement pamphlet that I saw somebody dropped at my house last week. Somebody actually, I found it at my doorstep, and after seeing the message in that pamphlet, I made up my mind that I'm going to check this opportunity out. So this is the effect of mass communication. And I was saying that to study the effects of mass communication is one of the dominant areas in mass comm field. And the first model that we are going to discuss related to effects of mass communication is stimulus response model. Here I would like to ask you a question. What is the meaning of the word stimulus? Stimulus, what is stimulus?
Ma'am, to
Stimulus is
respond
kind of a
any
reaction.
Reaction? Who else was
It's
speaking?
an action led by something, for example,
ma'am, to
I can't
respond some
I can't
action.
put.
Kamal, you were saying something. Go ahead, Kamal Zari.
Yes, ma'am. I said that stimulus means to respond to a reaction.
Okay, stimulus, let me tell you, stimulus means to provoke something. Something provoking is stimulus. So let's say if you prick your skin with pencil, it means this is a stimulus that causes pain. And then a painful expression on your face, or maybe if you scream, is your response to that stimulus. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very good, very good. So another example, let's say you see a person who is yelling at someone, and now yelling of that person is something that provokes anger in you, and you respond to that person with an angry look, or maybe some sort of anger at your face. So your anger is actually a response to that stimulus, and stimulus in this case was the person who was yelling. Okay? Similarly, our hunger is a stimulus, and we get hungry. It is a stimulus. When we get hungry, our hunger provokes us to eat something, to eat food. And then when we eat food, our action of eating food is actually a response to the stimulus of hunger. So what the model says is, let me tell you, everyone is clear about the word stimulus and response, right? Are you all clear about the two words,
Yes, ma'am.
stimulus and good, Munisa? Now let me tell you that what is the main postulate, or what is the main argument of stimulus response model. Now, according to stimulus response model, in order to have a response, there should be a stimulus. Okay? Stimulus is something that triggers an action. Uh, if if you want me to explain it a bit further. So in order to have a response, there has to be a stimulus. Excuse me. Now let's explain it with the help of an example again. Let's first say what it says. According to stimulus response model, effects are specific reactions to specific stimuli. Stimuli is the plural of the word stimulus. Let's say that I would like to give you an example again from advertisement. I particularly like this advertisement that I almost see every day while I am coming to my office while driving. And this is the example of an advertisement on a billboard. Uh, the advertisement is the advertisement of a summer beverage, Jameshiri. It's a cold beverage. We all like it. And the advertisement has the slogan, light, refreshing, light, refreshing. And I particularly like this slogan. It seems very appealing to me, especially in hot summers, in hot days of summer. And that message to me is very convincing. Now, you see, the message in this case, the message in the advertisement is a stimulus, because it stimulates me. It persuades me to buy the product. So the message in this case, it may be the slogan, light, refreshing, is a stimulus. And if I really go and buy this beverage, this cold drink, this cold beverage, jame shiri, that is my response to the message. Okay? Here I have explained you, first I told you what is the main argument of the model, and now I have explained it to you with the help of an example as well. Now, any question? I'll stop here to take your questions. It's very interesting actually. It's very simple to understand. I'll stop to take your questions. Ji, can anyone repeat the information that I just said? Can anyone repeat?
Ma'am, ये model जो है ये advertisement related.
Not necessarily. No, I'm giving you examples from advertisements because I find them easier to explain. However, you can find examples from other, even from daily communication as well. So let's say you receive a phone call from your friend who is asking you to go to gym together on weekend evening. Okay? That is a message, that is a stimulus. Now your friend is stimulating you to act in a certain way. Okay? That your friend's message. Now I'm giving you example from interpersonal communication. You receive a phone call from your friend, he asks you to go to the gym on weekend evening, and you respond to that message and you say, yeah, let's go, I would like it. You say, well, I'm homebound because of this lockdown, because of this COVID situation, I barely go anywhere, I really want a time out, so let's go. So see, now you're responding to the stimulus. Stimulus was your friend's message. Here it is again stimulus response. Does this answer your question, Hadi?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, let's talk about another example, and I would love to talk about the drama serial Mere Paas Tum Ho, because that's a drama serial that I think almost all Pakistanis watched. I know its popularity level and everything. So what was the message? Let's say, regardless of, I mean, I'm not talking about that misogynist views or feminism. Maybe the message in the drama was that uh, the message in the drama was to talk about the suffering of children from broken families. Okay? Now that's the stimulus. The stimulus is to let people realize the sufferings of children from broken families. And if people respond to that drama in a way that they become aware of these ideas and they become conscious of these ideas, that is a response. That is how people are responding to that message. Responses sometimes are not measurable or observable, or we cannot calculate them, but there are many times responses. Does this all make sense? Does this all make sense? Ambreen, yes, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a sore throat and I cannot speak right now. I've shared something in the chat box. Can you please check that?
Yeah, I'll go and take a look. Thank you, Ambreen. Ambreen wrote that marketing, Ambreen, I hope you feel better, first of all. Marketing and environmental stimuli enter the buyer's consciousness. The marketer's task is to understand what happens in the buyer's consciousness between the arrival of outside stimuli and buyer's purchase decision. Yeah, that's correct. However, again, I have given you many examples from advertisement in order to explain stimulus response, but please do not uh, think that this model is confined only to messages related to advertisement. The message can be applied to any situation of communication, any situation. Okay? Many times I receive this phone call on my phone from a banking service or from an insurance service, and they say that, well, according to our information, you qualify for our bank's credit card and blah blah blah, are you interested in applying for one? And what I usually do is I just hang up on them. I am not interested. or I tell them, I'm not interested, I'm in the middle of something right now, please do not disturb me, or something like that. Now you see, I'm not responding to their message. Their message is, here is this service that our bank is offering, come use it, or come take it. And I am not responding. In this case, what I am doing is my reaction. If I hang up on them, that is my reaction, because I am not responding the way they want me to. Okay? So sometimes that can also happen, and even that happens in advertisements as well. That happens in all sides, all sorts of situations, in dramas and news talk shows. We know that confrontational talk shows are famous in Pakistan. Like there is this program Capital Talk, and then there is another program Mere Mutabik, and there is another program by Shahzeb Khanzada, and we see politicians and government people coming and debating on things, and many times we do not agree with them and we do not respond the way they want us to. So that can happen. This is what I was trying to explain. Okay, let me take you to other slide. Okay, what is a stimulus response model? These are three main components. This is how the stimulus response model look in the form of a sketch or a diagram. Stimulus is a message. I have already told you this. It is denoted by the letter S. Receiver, organism, living organism, human beings, they are denoted by the letter O, and response is effect. If the message creates an effect on audience, that is response, and it is denoted by the letter R. Usually the relationship between these components is described as SOR. The model is also known as SOR model. All right. This is the last slide that I'm going to discuss for today. And then I will discuss the rest of the model in the next class. Okay? Now, stimulus response model, or hypodermic, it is also sometimes referred as hypodermic needle model or magic bullet model. Let me explain you what hypodermic is. I will stop the sharing of my screen here, and I'll explain you what hypodermic needle is. A hypodermic needle is actually a form of giving you medicine. So when we go and get an injection from a doctor, and doctor advises an injection for us, what they do is they do the hypodermic treatment. Hypodermic is something that goes right beneath your skin. This is how they give you drugs in your body. So a hypodermic needle is a drug that comes through a needle and that goes right under your skin. They give you drug either in your muscle or in your vein, and this is a way of faster treatment as compared to other treatments. If you take medicine orally, like by your mouth, or so, hypodermic needle is a way of a faster treatment. So hypodermic needle model, stimulus response model, or sometimes it is also known as magic bullet model. It is one of the very early models of mass communication. Probably, I do not know the year exactly, but it was probably proposed around 1930s or so. And you see, that was the time, especially propaganda became very popular in terms of use of mass media. Now, in this time period, scholars were talking about powerful effects of media. And by proposing words like hypodermic needle or magic bullet, scholars were of the view that media messages are so powerful for audience that they act like hypodermic needle. They affect people as a hypodermic needle does. And I have already explained what does a hypodermic needle do. In order to give a patient a faster treatment, a doctor would recommend an injectable medicine, which means they would give him the drug in the form of a hypodermic needle. The needle that has the medicine, it goes right beneath the skin of the person and it affects him. So they were saying that this is the powerful media effects. media affects people the way hypodermic needle does. Similarly, they used another term, magic bullet, which means media messages come to people like bullets. You know how the bullets that comes through a gun, how it pierces a person's body. That's what they were saying, that the messages of media, they work like bullets for audience, bullets that can pierce viewers eyes, or that can pierce listeners ears. Like, such is the power of media. So in the beginning, yes, media was a powerful tool, especially electronic media, and when scholars began their research related to effects of media, they were talking about powerful effects of media. And however, this model does have criticism. Many studies that came after this hypodermic needle model or magic bullet model, they were criticizing that yes, media's effects are powerful, but they are not as powerful that we can use terms like hypodermic needle or magic bullet for their effects. I'll stop my lecture here to take your questions. I have seen Hadi has raised his hand. Hadi, bete, please go ahead and ask your question.
मैम मैंने इस मॉडल के बारे में पूछना था कि बात की मैथ्सकॉम 306 में द रिसर्च प्रपोजल जो मैं कर रहा हूँ उसमें मेरा थ्योरेटिकल फ्रेमवर्क को मैंने ये चूज किया हाइपोडर्मिक. ये मैंने डेनिस पिकवेल की बुक में इसका सिर्फ इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ा था. तो अब मैं जब फर्दर इस पे रिसर्च करूं तो मैंने एक जगह पे एम्बिगुअस था कि कई जगह पे लिखा हुआ है कि हैरल्ड लेसवेल ने इसको प्रोमलगेट किया था 1920s में, और एक जगह पे मैंने देखा था आर्लेंड स्पेक्टर का भी नाम लिखा हुआ.
Yes.
तो इन दोनों ने किया था कि इनमें से कोई एक था ये?
It's a very good question. Hypodermic needle model is something that several researchers have worked on. Okay? So maybe Laswell began his working, and he was the one who came up with the idea that media has very powerful effects. And then there were some other scholars, maybe 10 years after him, 5 years after him, 7 years after him, they also engage in similar kind of research. And then they said, yes, they verified, they validated Laswell's argument, and they said, yes, media does seem to have powerful effects. However, see, and I asked you a related question when I gave you exam, that are media models subject to change or revision or modification? The answer is yes. They are changed, revised, modified several times. Sometimes even they are rejected. It may be possible that a model, it is suitable to study a particular situation, but the same model is highly unsuitable to study another situation. That can happen. Or let's say for a situation, a model seems completely working, completely apt, but for another situation, a model seems highly unsuitable, or a model is not proved. Okay, Hadi, does this answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
A single model is many times studied by many scholars within a difference of time period and all that. However, this stimulus response model or magic bullet hypodermic needle, it suggests that media has many powerful effects. Media is very powerful. It is used as powerful effect model. However, many scholars have criticized this model. They say it's not only media that affect people. People are also affected by their friends, their peers. It happened to me that I mean, whenever I want to go out and eat at a restaurant with my family, many times I don't see advertisements. Many times what I do is I call my friends, I call my cousins, and I ask them, okay, I want to go out to eat at a Chinese restaurant. Suggest me a good restaurant. You see, I'm not relying on media here. So media does not seem to have powerful effects in this case. In this case, I'm getting information from my friends, from my peers. So then there were scholars who said that, yes, media is powerful, but it's not as powerful in many people's case as is maybe social interaction. So there are scholars who propose moderate effects media model. They said that media has moderate effects. Then there are scholars who talked about limited effects model. You see, the application of model changes from person to person. Let me talk about myself. When the classes began, I gave you a question, and the question was I asked you that how do you consume media? talk about your media consumption patterns and how does that define you. If you, some of you remember, especially those of you who were in in-person classes. Now see, each person is different. Maybe some of you are highly influenced by advertisements and you change your opinion. I am a kind of person who takes interest in media messages, but I usually do not change my opinion. For example, I like the advertisement. I like jazz advertisement. It has the slogan "Duniya ko bata do." You may have seen that, and it has a really nice color theme, and I like its presentation and everything. But I like seeing advertisement, but I am not convinced to the point that I change my cellular service. I use Zong service. I'm not convinced to the point that I change my Zong service and switch to jazz service, if that makes sense. But anyways, thank you so much. With that, I have ended today's lecture. We discussed half of the stimulus response model in our today's class. Inshallah, we will discuss the rest of the model in next class. Okay? All right.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you all on Wednesday now. Thank you and goodbye.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.